Here is Republican congressional candidate Karoline Leavitt on Newsmax talking about how actually overturning Roe v. Wade is better for women and gives women more rights. Let's see how she squares that logic.
Yeah, you're running for office. Do you think it's a winning campaign issue to baby murder? Is this like going to be the bumper sticker on the back of the Democrats' campaign?
Well, that's certainly what they're trying to do here, right? This is no surprise that this is a coordinated fear-mongering campaign by the Democrat left. I have no doubt in my mind that it was a far-left activist who unfortunately works in the institution of the Supreme Court who leaked this to Politico. And like clockwork, right, you saw the Democrat regime, everyone in the media, my Democrat opponent who I'm running against in my home district here, spewing out the same baseless lies and talking points, that this is going to threaten the health, the safety, the rights of women. I am a woman, and not one of my rights is going to be taken away if Roe v. Wade is overturned. What this does, if it has in fact even happened, right, we're seeing this outrageous, outlandish response, and they haven't even come to a decision yet. This was a draft leak. And you see how up in arms they already are. My rights will not be taken away as a woman. It actually will give more rights to us as women because it will return that power to our state legislatures. The Democrats' talking points on this are entirely false, and we need to call them out for it.
Wow. So, women's rights are best exhibited in the function of state legislatures. That's something I learned today. Something that's particularly feminine is the functioning of state legislatures. That's how you get more rights. Does she know that, too, they're about to start creeping in on birth control access?
Well,
Will it be...
I don't think she knows a whole lot, to be honest.
Will it be fewer rights then, though?
I mean, she won't grant that.
No.
The way that she says, like, their talking points are entirely false, that seems to me like a low-level GOP operative that really isn't trusted with anything beyond talking points. Like, she doesn't understand these issues really at all, I don't think. And she's just going to say the two talking points that are contradictory, which is that, one, this isn't that bad, and two, it's just a leaked draft, so it might not actually even happen.
It's actually pro-women.
I mean, right, exactly. It's feminist. It's feminist.
But that's their like logic for anything. Anytime like you give, or rather they take away the rights of marginalized groups, they actually argue that they're going to give them more rights, because their favorite thing to do with black people is to say that when the government gives people support, it's like putting them back on the plantation. So like, like this sort of like lazy, sort of subversions of logic, because they never get really challenged on it when they go on platforms, much like not only just their own Newsmax platform, but when they go on, even some center left platforms, they just get like, it just gets like reduced to the level of like he said, she said about the like realities of what a repeal or of Roe v. Wade would mean for like the majority of women. Because for the most part, like we know that it's not about whether she feels like her rights are going to be infringed upon by Roe v. Wade being appealed. It's other women, and whether or not she has a right to insist that she has a right to infringe upon their rights because of, I'm just going to assume by the cross hanging around her neck prominently displayed, her religious beliefs. Because ultimately the only people who are required, and no one is required to get an abortion, but who get them are people who are getting them are because they either want to or because of health and just because of health reasons, and so like no one is forcing people to get abortions, which is just part of their like mentality that people are being forced into it, and therefore removing that is a good thing.
It's a pretty easy test that you can just do based on what she's claiming. Right now, under Roe v. Wade, can a woman in Texas get an abortion? Yes. Can a woman in Texas not get an abortion? Also, yes. Remove Roe v. Wade. Can a woman in Texas not get an abortion? Yes, they can. If they don't want one, they don't have to get one. Can they get an abortion? No, if they want one.
Yeah, it is that simple. It's also fascinating to me, the dynamic, and Brandon, you just kind of touched on it too. How shameless a woman has to be, because she's clearly invited on, excited to get this publicity. She's running in New Hampshire's 1st congressional district, and her primary is in September. It's a crowded field, but this is a purple district, so she could potentially win.
Yeah, Chris Pappas is the member, and it's definitely like, even though New Hampshire obviously has like blue senators, it's definitely like a up for grabs district, especially in this environment. So the shamelessness of conservatives, and we see this with like Candace Owens or countless other people, to offer themselves up as like the face that's going to say the thing that every white Republican thinks already, and she's eager to do that. But you'll find more of those with white women, honestly. But based on voting patterns, check out how many of them voted for Donald Trump in 2016 and 2020, for that matter.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
Roland Barthes essay on what message it sends to just have like a black soldier in a French military outfit, right? That sends a message.
Yep.
Exactly. And I mean, to be fair, it does short circuit a large portion of our, like, the people who exist within our media and who are having this conversation, because they, do subscribe to a very heavily edited version of racism and misogyny, where it really is just the realm of, older white men who are the people who are doing it. And for the most part, if you happen to not belong to that group, you simply can't be promoting those things in any real way. And so like it allows for the far right and other sort of parts of the spectrum, because it allows for them to do it as well, to, just simply platform people who can argue against the rights of people who generally fit the same description as them. But because they, usually because of their wealth, they're going to be insulated from it, or they're going to at least feel like they're insulated from it. And so it doesn't matter as much to them whether or not the people who they're selling out have access to it.